Are you ready for an easy day? I am too. Hi everyone, Cristin Tom here, and we are doing amazing with our We Whisk You a Merry Christmas quilt. So we have all of the 4 rows completely done, and many of us did the sashings and the patchwork rows, and so we've been putting it together as we come along with the project. So a bunch of us personalized our 4th apron number 4, and I love seeing those. How cute. What was it I saw today? Chief Cookie Baker, I think it said on one of them. Oh, so cute. I just think these are so fun. We're having a great time and jamming along with our project. So today, easy day. For those of us that did our sashings, we may not have done the inner borders. So I'm going to work on just the inner borders. We just have 2 of them left for most of us. Not everyone. It depends on how you did them. But most of us did our sashings and inner borders a while ago so that we could start putting it all together. But we need the 2 on the sides. So 1 on the left and 1 on the right. That's what we need. And some of us didn't do that in the beginning because we need to measure it first, right? So we need to know how much quilting we need. So start today by measuring your quilt, all right? Preferably from the center, all right? Measure the entire length of the quilt. That's very important to be able to know how long we need our strips to be and how much quilting that we need. So mine measured 32.5 inches. Exactly, 32.5 is what mine is. So that means I want 32 inches of quilting. So I already took a look and I looked at it, and if I use the 1x12 design, I can do that 3 times and it'll come out to 35.25 because the 1x12 design is actually 11.75 inches. So if you do that 3 times, it comes out to 35.25. So the excess would just run off onto the end of the stabilizer on the last hooping. So that's 3 hoopings. I'm going to put 2 in 1 hooping. I'll very quickly show you how to do that. It's super duper easy. So that is what I need. I want 32 inches of quilting. Again, that's for my quilt. So check your quilt. It may be different with the size of the rows and the seam allowance and all of that. Just check yours to make sure you know how much you want. So once you know, like I know that I want mine to be 32.5, and I don't want the batting on the top or the bottom of that row. I want that for my 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that means I want 32 inches of quilting, which means I want 32 inches of batting. All right. So I am going to measure my batting to be 32 inches times 1. All right. 1 inch of batting times 32 inches long. All right. And I'll measure it again as I get close to the end, but that's what will help it to not be in our seams. So our fabric today is the green with multi dots, just like we did for the sashings. The sashings are in between the rows, and then the inner borders are the part that goes all the way around it. All right, so it's the green with multi-dot on it, and we want this cut to 1.5 inches, 1.5. In the book, it'll say, sorry for all the messages, and my computer is too loud. So 1.5 inches. In the book, it'll say 1 inch because they didn't do the quilting back then, all right? So we want 1.5 inches, and then we will do a 1 inch quilting design, a 1 inch border quilting design. So if you don't have this original fabric, then a green with dots fabric, I believe, is what our sponsor sent. Our sponsor was Your Best Friend's Quilt Shop for this project, and they did make some substitutions. So this is the original, and again, in the book it'll say 1 inch wide, but you want 1.5 inches to be able to quilt it. All right, and if you don't have enough, you could still do the 1 inch quilting and just have the excess running off onto the stabilizer, like I mentioned in the first video. So all of the sashings video step by step, that is on, we've already done that video. It's on the same one with the patchwork row, but these last 2 are for the left and the right side. So we do still need to add those on. So 1.5 inches times width of fabric is what it calls for in the book. And then you're just going to cut it down after you quilt it and after assembly. So mine, like I said, is 32.5 inches long. I'm going to keep it full length here, and then I'll cut it down in assembly once I've got it all quilted and after it's sewn onto my block. So for this, then our batting, like I said, is going to be 1 inch wide because we're going to attach that batting onto our strips before we even start. So 1 inch times 32 inches for mine. Check on yours, whatever size yours is. All right. And then that's for the batting. And then the quilting design, I'm using Christmas Border 3. It's a border design so that the quilting is just going to tack it down on the left and right sides. It doesn't go all the way around. It just does the left and right when you use a border design. So that's the one that we used on the sashings. It's got that holly leaves on it. All right, so that's the one I'm using. Same for the left and the right sides of our project. All right, so it's going to be a really easy day. We will have 3 hoopings, but super easy. And I am going to bring you over to the computer and show you quickly how to merge those together and hoop size and all of that fun information. But it should be a very quick and easy day. It's very similar to the first sashings tutorial that we did, but this one is for the longer. So 3 hoopings for me, because I'm going to use my 8x12 hoop or maybe my 7x12 hoop, but 12 inches long, depending on your hoop size. If you're using a 5x7 hoop, then you would use the 1x7 design and however many hoopings that you need for the length of your quilt. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hey everyone, this will be a really quick tutorial on how to merge the 2 strips together. If you need more strips, you can follow the same procedure or watch the previous sashings tutorial that shows more of them. I think I did 3 in 1 hooping for that. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I use. It's opening to my 7x12 hoop. That's perfect. I think that's what I want to use. But if you're not on the hoop size you want, come up here to this preferences folder, click on that, then click on the hoop size you want and say okay. And then come up to this compass button and click H for hoop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to merge stitch file. And it's going to ask, well, where is this file that you want me to open? So I have it on my We Whisk You a Merry Christmas. Let's see, border, embroidery files, block Pez, perfect. And I'm going to look for the 1x12. It is right there. There's the 1x12. There's also 1x10, 1x7, 1x14. So whatever works for you, but I know that I want the 1x12. So I'm going to double click on that. And it'll tell you right down here at the bottom. So the size of this design is 1.5 inches. That half is just that 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. The actual quilting design is 1 inch. I'll show you that in a minute. But then the length is 11 3/4. And that's what I was saying is if I do 3 of these, if I rehoop it and get 3 of these, then I'll get 35.25 inches of quilting. And I need 32, so that will work out perfectly. And the excess will just run off onto the stabilizer. So the way to tell the quilting design by itself, so if I open up this design and I click on number 5, that's the quilting design, then you can see that this design is 7/8 inches times 10 13/16. All right, so that is just the quilting design by itself. And so that's what I was saying is if you don't have 1.5 inches of fabric, you could use your 1 inch and then just have the excess run off onto the stabilizer if that's what you need to do. But like I mentioned in the prep video, I recommend 1.5 inches for your sashings and inner border if you can make that work. If not, use what you have. Don't worry. All right, so I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change these real quick. Now 1 and 2, that's the placement and tack down of the batting. We don't need those because we're actually going to add the batting onto the strip itself, onto the fabric. But so you can go ahead, you could click from the right, drag over and get 1 and 2 and click delete. I'm probably going to leave that in just for the purpose of the tutorial to remind everyone to bypass them. All right, so you wouldn't need to change any colors then because you have blue, light orange, and turquoise. So I'm just going to change that one blue. I'm going to click on number 1, click on the color, and I'm going to go to my view threads because right now I'm in palettes, and I'm going to click dark aqua and say okay. So that's the only change that I need to make. And like I said, you don't even need to make that. You can delete 1 and 2 if you're adding the batting onto your fabric strips like I'm going to show. All right, so this one is done. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and I'm just going to hit my left arrow key, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to the left side. And then I'm going to sit while it's selected. All right, so I've got number 1 selected. I'm going to say Control-C to copy it and Control-V like victory to paste it. And then I'm just going to use my right arrow key and move it over. All right, we don't need a whole lot of room between these two, so if you have even a narrower hoop, that'd be better, but I don't. All right, so my 7-inch hoop, that will work just fine. All right, so there's those two designs. I'm going to close them just so I can see them well. And we have 10 color steps. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a utility color sort. And it reduced it by 5 color changes. I'm going to click New View so that then they're all together in a different tab. I'm going to open this up. There is our placement for our batting, tack down of our batting, placement of our main fabric strips, tack down of those strips, and then the quilting design. All right, so that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. That was very easy to do. So that will do the 2 strips. If you haven't done your sashings already, you can add more in. That would work absolutely fine too. But we want, don't forget to measure your quilt to see how much. I know I want 32 inches of quilting, and that's why I'm doing the 1x12 design 3 times. All right, so I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and let's see. I'm in my design already. That's perfect. So I'm going to click, I'm going to say 7x12 inner borders times 2. Whatever you want to name it, that will help you to remember where to find it and what name to look under. All right, and that's all done. I'm going to say utility, send to Solaris XP1. And if you don't have that feature, just save it to a USB stick, bring it over to your machine, and you're all good to go. All right, let's get going on this. It's going to be an easy day. how are you doing with your goal? So I worked my goal hard yesterday. My husband left to go to the gym, and it's a half hour away. So he has a half hour driving there, almost an hour at the gym, and then a half hour drive back. And instead of going to the gym, because I don't have that gym membership anymore, I work out at home, and I got to use that whole time. So the whole time that he was gone, all of his travel time sitting in the car, I used for working out. So I'll add photos, but it was a really interesting day. So I did a workout on the treadmill. I got almost 2 miles on jogging on the treadmill for my first workout in Colorado with my favorite iFit trainer, Paulo Beretta. So that was my first one. And then I did a strength training workout because I'm finally able to lift weights. So I did the strength training workout, and I didn't have the same equipment as her, but I made it work, right? So where she used this thing with these cords, I used a what are these called? The bands. I used those bands. So I just did, as long as you're moving and you're getting a workout, it doesn't matter. And believe me, it worked because I'm sore today. So then after that workout, then I got back on the treadmill and I did the last workout in this series. I'm doing this Pines to Peaks with Paulo Barreto. And oh my gosh, he like climbed. Oh, you're going to love the photos. It was incredible. I was literally smiling the whole time doing this treadmill workout. So he's hiking up these like rock climbing, this monster climb, and on belay and strapped to the mountain, and it was just amazing. It was really, really, really cool to see. And meanwhile, I'm jogging at some points and hiking at some points, and it was just a really, really cool. That was like my favorite. That was definitely my favorite iFit workout that I've done so far, because the scenery, I mean, to be able to see him climbing this rock mountain, it was just absolutely incredible. Absolutely loved that. So I'll show a lot of photos about that. So I did that. So I literally worked out for almost 2 full hours while my husband was gone, sitting in the car going to the gym. I thought that was pretty cool. I got a great workout at home, and I'm definitely sore today. And unfortunately, it didn't help me sleep. I still did not sleep last night. I don't know what is the deal with that, but that's okay. I don't have cancer. That's all that matters, right? So how are you doing with your goal? Did you do something to move your body yesterday? I'd love to hear about it. And my shirt today, this is a fun one. So the shirt is from Amazon. It is a teal zip up shirt, and it's really thin, like a nice thin summery type shirt, but long sleeves and with a little hood. I really like this one. I will add a link here to my Amazon storefront. It's got a bunch of shirts that I recommend for embroidering on. I really like this one, and it comes in several different colors. I think I need to do another one. I want a lavender one. They don't have lavender. I think lavender would be really fun, but this tealish color, aqua, is a really fun one too. So on the front of my shirt, I have this cross. It is a doodle cross from Designs by Juju. I think it's so pretty. I really like this. And I added gold bling all around the cross. Super pretty. Isn't that so pretty? I love that. And on the back, it has so loved. It says so loved, and it's an applique piece with a lot of applique pieces to it. It was a lot of work on it, but so pretty. I really like it. I will add a photo so you can see it. It is from Embroidery Boutique, and it's a really fun design, a little bit more advanced because it's got all the applique pieces versus like just regular stitching. This is obviously just regular stitching. The other one is applique, but it's super pretty, and it has the scripture on it as well. Really nice shirt. I was wearing this because I was going to go to Bible study this morning. I was really excited to go and slept right through it because I did not sleep last night. So my body just is not working with me on that, but that's okay. So then I also bought this little tube top, and how cute is this? I think that's so pretty and so fun to have it peeking out from my sweater. I will add a link in my Amazon shop for that too. It's super cute. You don't want to embroider on it, but it is just a really pretty thing to be hanging out of a zip up sweater. So fun to do. And anyway, I will add all the information. I always include the direct links for the designs that I'm showing you. And of course, the sweater is in my Amazon storefront. So check at the very bottom of the video notes for all those direct links.